Okay. So in our previous session, we have seen so what is data warehouse, what is data lake, so how this data, the architecture of data warehouse and everything we have seen. What is Informatica, what are the different tools are there in Informatica, that everything we have seen. So that's what we will continue. So today we'll start with Informatica architecture. Okay, Informatica architecture, how this Informatica will be and everything. So I hope everyone has started installing it. If not yet installed, please install it today after this session. If you are facing any issues, please let me know. We will complete the installation by this weekend itself. Okay. This Saturday, Sunday, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow, we'll complete it. So this is what we'll see. You can go to this particular architecture. Say for example, this is Informatica architecture. See, Informatica will. So this is a server. Actually, this is a server. So if you look at here, so this is Informatica server. So in real time, the Informatica server will be running on Unix machine. Okay. So Informatica server. So here we have server, Power Center server. This Power Center server will be running on Unix machine. Okay, Unix or Linux machine. So that's what it will be running. Unix or Linux machine. Okay. So what is the server? Server is the main one. Server will do the main part. Actually, this is what the server will do. Informatica server is the main one. So here in the left-hand side, we have the source. This is source. Informatica will read the data from source. Okay, source, and it will write the data into target. So this is a data integration tool. It will integrate the data from the source to target. Okay, so this is what we'll be having it. So you can take the we can read the data from source. We can write the data into target. Okay. So if you look at here, so I'm going to. Okay, so I will explain that. Okay, so here we have the source. This is my source. Source is nothing but heterogeneous sources, any sources. Okay, source is always any sources. So target also might be a source for next stage. Okay, this is what our target. Target is any database, any flat file. Sources also any database, any flat file or any cloud. So from source, we will always read the data. We will read the data. We will not change any data in the source side. So always you will see the select operations. Okay, the select operations in the source. Then we'll go for write operations here. Okay, we'll go for write operations. So here we have write operations. Here we will go for the insert or update. So that we will go for the insert and update logic. See, from source, we will always read the data. From target, we will always write the data. So this is Informatica server. So Informatica server always will read the data from source and it will write the data into target. Okay, this is what we will do. So source might be a table or flat file or a cloud. So here also target might be a table or flat file or cloud. So always we will read the data and we will write the data into target. Okay. So we need to provide the information, right? We need to provide the information to Informatica server. Okay. You go and read the data from this source. You go and read the data from the source and you go and do this kind of transformation logic, go and write it on the target, right? This is what we will do. So normally we'll go and read the data from source. So we'll write here. So here I'll go for, this is what I can go with. So always I will use source and target. Okay, here I'm going for repository services. Okay, This is called repository. This is called repository. Is nothing but it will hold all the metadata. Okay, repository. It will hold all the metadata. So this is what we'll be having it, metadata informations. So this is what repository. Repository will have the metadata. So what is metadata? It's a data about data. So whatever we do in our Informatica, right? Whatever we do in our Informatica, so all this data will be stored in this metadata information. This is nothing but a DB only. This is also a DB only. So one part of DB, we will have it for repository. So this is also database. In the database, we will create it. So in our scenario, we can use system schema, or we can create one more schema called info schema. Okay, we will be creating this repository on top of any database. In real time also, we'll be having a repository database. So on top of any of the repository only, the Informatica server will be installed. Whatever we do, the changes on Informatica level, so it will be stored in this repository. Okay, what information will be stored in this metadata tables? So I will show you. Okay, so whatever, say for an example, today I'm running this particular session. One session I'm going to run. It will read the data from source and it will write the data into target. So from OLTP to OLAP, you assume that. OLTP to OLAP, or even OLAP to OLAP also. Source and target, stage table to work table to core table. So again, it will move from source to target. So when it has been executed, whether it has been succeeded or failed, so how many record it has been read from source, written in target. So everything will be stored in repository. That information will be stored in repository. Whatever the mapping we do, all this will be stored in. The information will be stored in who has created, when it has been created, information will be stored in this repository. Okay, this is what the repository. To connect this repository to Informatica server, we have one service called repository services. We have one service called repository services. See, this is the repository services. Repository services. Here we have. This is what it will be connected. By using repository services, we can connect from repository to the server. Okay, that's why I asked you to learn this Unix. So Unix is must for Informatica developer. Why Unix is needed? So whenever your customer is placing a file, okay, they will place a file in Unix server. Or we have to do some automation. Okay, automation, we have to write some script. So everything we have to do it in our Unix script only. That's what Unix script is mandatory. You have to learn this Unix script. Okay. So you have to read. By using all this information will be stored. I will show you this repository database. Here will be stored. Okay. So we can have, so to input this server or repository, we have to use Informatica client. Okay, we have to use Informatica client. By using this Informatica client, okay, by using this Informatica client, for example, this is what our Informatica client. Okay, this is what our Informatica client. We are the client tool. We are the client tool. The client tools are connected with the server through repository. So you can connect this repository to a client and then it will be connected to a server. Everything it is interconnected. What is Informatica client? If we are the developer, we'll be working on Informatica client only. Okay, Informatica client, Power Center client. So it will be running on Windows machine. Windows machine, okay, Windows machine. So if we are the developer, we are going for any new project in the project, so definitely we'll have only access to this Informatica client in our machine. If you're going for very new to the project, so they'll be giving you the laptop and everything, right? After that, they will ask you to install Informatica client in your machine and database tools, like you'll be having Toad for Oracle or SQL Developer for Oracle, SQL Assistant for Teradata, right? So some web page tool and all, they will ask you to install. So once you have installed the Informatica client, they will give you the server information. From client, we have to connect this server. We have to create a repository. Okay, that repository connection we have to establish in the Informatica client. and then integration service. So I will tell you what is that. See, Informatica client has 4 client tools. I will explain that what are the different 4 client tools. We have first client tool is called repository manager. Okay, repository manager, designer, workflow manager, and monitor. So there are 4 different client tools are there in Informatica. These 4 client tools are interconnected with each other. Okay, so here we have the repository manager and designer, workflow manager, and workflow monitor. These 4 client tools are interconnected and it will be connected with each other, and it will be connected to Informatica server. So we'll be getting that server domain, port number, and host number. These 3 things you have to get it. So these 3 things we have to get it from real-time server also. So what are the things? We have to get domain name. So which domain we are working on, and host name, host server name, and then port number. So these 3 things you have to get it from our Informatica admin team or from our team, the existing team members. So after this, you have to get, so after this one domain or host or port number, you have to get the repository information and integration service, those 2 also. So you can go for repository information, rep information also you have to get which repository we are working for. So in development, we'll be having a separate repository, QA will be having a separate repository, and production will be having a separate repository. If you are the developer, so development environment will be having read and write access, so you can edit it. But in QA and in production, you will not have access. So even in our this particular project, we do not have any read access also for production. So production code we cannot able to see. If we want to see, we have to download from GitHub. So from the GitHub, we have to again import it to the development environment. We have to see it. That's all. We cannot able to see we cannot able to connect the production server. That much security they have. Okay. So for security and compliance issue they have. Okay. So these information definitely they will give you. They will add you in the repository so that you will be getting access. So this is architecture, right? Then we will be having the integration service. In top, we have the integration service. In server, integration service will be running. Okay, this integration service only responsible for data movement. Normally, we will call it as IS. Responsible for data movement. It will move the data from source to target. It will move the data from source to target. This one, integration service. Okay, integration service. It will read the data from source. It will read the data from source, transform the data, write the data into target. It will handle 3 threads. It will handle 3 threads. So first thread is called reader thread. Okay, reader thread. Second thread is called a transformation thread. Okay. Third thread is called writer thread. Writer thread. So what the reader thread will do? Reader thread will read the data, okay, from source. Reader thread will read the data from source, and the transformation thread will transform the data. Writer thread will write the data into target. So this is what 3 threads. See, whenever we are going to analyze the session log for any issues, we have to check where is the error. While reading, is there any error? Okay, while reading itself, we are having any error, or transformation side or the writer side. If it is reader side, it will be having a 0 record. Okay, 0, 0, 0. So all this are 0. Why? From the reader itself, it is finding issues. That's why. If it is transformation thread error, say for an example, it has read 100 records, but transformation thread side it is error, then it will have 0 and 0. So transformation also 100. While writing, it is failing. That means it's 0. Okay. So it will get rolled back. So you'll be having, if it is everything 100, then it's a 1-to-1 load. It has been successful. So this is what you have to find where is the error. So whenever you are facing any issues on the Informatica side, first we have to go and check the session log. In the session log, we will be having the 3 threads. You press E on the session log, it will go to the error. It will show you where is the error. Okay. If the error is on reader thread, we have to check why it is while reading it is failing. So definitely we have to check it. So this is the architecture of Informatica server client architecture. The server client architecture we will call it as SOA. Okay, SOA is nothing but service oriented architecture. Okay, service oriented architecture. So client and server. So server will give you the request and response. Okay, server will respond it based on the client request. So this is what we'll have it. So source is nothing but our one of the DB, okay, or flat file. Target also one of the DB or flat file. So anything is fine. So database or flat file. So that is fine. Okay, flat file is nothing but file system. Like we have the XML file, we have the TXT file, we have the CSV file. All this file we can take the data. Okay, in our environment, how we are installing it, right? We are installing this Informatica server on Windows machine itself. Okay, Windows machine. Both we are installing it on Windows machine. In our machine, we have both the Windows machine only. Then, in order to create the repository, first of all, we need the repository, right? As I told, we need the repository. First of all, we need to have the database. We need to have the database in order to install repository. We can go for the database. So, for an example, this is the database. You assume that this is the database we have. This database, we are going to split this database into 3 different schema or 4 different schema, whatever you may be. You want to create, you can create it. 4 schema, we are creating it. Okay, 4 schema. Assume that 4 schema, we are creating it. By default, this Informatica will have 2 schema. Okay, by default, Informatica will have 2 schema. One is HR schema, another one is system schema. By default, these 2 schema will be available. So Oracle, we are going to have this one. Oracle, we are going to have Oracle 11G only. So why? Because 11G is compatible with this version. That's why. But in real time, we'll be having a latest server. So why? Because repository you can have it 11G, and then the other server they will go for different servers. So here we have the system user. System user is nothing but admin schema. So I have explained this in the installation. You can watch it and then you can do installation. So it's username for system and then password for admin, whatever the password you have given. First of all, what is schema? Schema is nothing but subset of your database. For an example, if I have 1 TB of hard disk, right, or 500 GB of hard disk, I'll be splitting this hard disk into 2 different drives, right? 2 different drives. So we have C drive and D drive. So why I have split it? So you can go for one more drive also, E drive, F drive and all. Why we are splitting? So why? Because we have to split based on the logical division. So C drive I will have only program files. D drive I will keep all the data related to my studies, and E drive I can go for photos and videos and everything, right? Entertainment or something. So based on my business, I'm splitting. The same way in real time, the database will be split into multiple schemas based on the business subject area. So here we can create one more user called Infa for Informatica repository. So for Informatica repository, we are creating it. Or you can use system admin also, that is also fine. This Infa user, we can have the username password is Infa. So everything username is same as password. So here we have one schema is called HR, and we can create one more schema is called core. So different objects will be there in HR schema. Say for an example, what is a different object? The tables and views and everything is object. So here lot of tables will be there. You can also create lot of tables. Okay, some different tables we can create. Employees table, so departments table, some retail related table, finance related table, insurance related table, you can create it. But by default, it will be having 7 tables. We can make use of the tables. Here also you'll be having, so you can create the tables. Here I'm just creating a table called T_employees for target. You can create any tables. Okay, you can create any tables in this target. So what we are going to make, we are going to make this HR schema source. HR schema is source and core schema is target. Okay, core schema is target. We are bringing Informatica here. So Informatica server here. We are telling that Informatica, okay, you go and read the data from the source schema table and write the data into core schema tables. Okay, or we can take the data from file. Your third-party vendor is placing a file here in the path. From the file, you can read it. You can load it into a core tables. Or we can read the data from a table. You can write it into a file. You can write it into a file and then you can send it to a third-party vendor. So some reporting. You can send it. See, flat file to table, table to table, table to flat file to flat file. So anything is fine. Now Informatica. Okay. So which is our source? Our HR schema is source. Our core schema is target. Okay. So I will come to your file means flat file. Yes, it's a flat file. Flat file in the sense you will be having text file, CSV file. Okay, all the file system. So any files, JSON file, like you'll be having XML file. All this file structured file data. Company is giving that in Windows environment. Okay, in Windows environment, we have to connect with these details to the server. Server will be running on Unix environment. Okay, we have to use putty. You know the putty, right? So putty, and we can able to go to the particular path, your source file directory, or target file directory, your log file directory, everything will be on the Unix server. So you have to connect with putty, and you have to go to that particular server name, SSH server name. You can go to the particular path. You can see whether the file has been created or not, whether your customer is placed the file or not. So based on that, you have to check. Okay. So this is what the Informatica architecture. We have two different services. What is the service? One is repository services. Another one is integration service. The integration service will come into picture while we are running the Informatica. So repository service will come into picture while we are connecting to a repository. Whenever we are making the all our development. Is there any questions here? Is there any question? Source, target, Informatica server. Any questions here on the architecture side? Okay, so this is what we'll be having it. You can have, instead of Oracle, you can have Oracle and then you can have SQL Server also. If you want SQL Server software, I will give it to you. You can install it. This time you can use Oracle as source, SQL Server as target. No issues. Or we can have another DB also. That's also fine. Any questions?
Yeah, like in Oracle, it is called, I mean, you said that schema is nothing but subset of database. Like in Oracle, it is called schemas, but in SQL Server, it is called database, right?
Yes,
SQL
correct.
Server,
Very correct. Yes. See, the logical division in SQL Server or Teradata or MySQL is called database. So within the database, you'll be having some database. You heard about this DBO, right? Database object.
Yeah.
So DBO will be there in SQL Server and Teradata. See, SQL Server and Teradata will be looking like same.
Okay.
And DB2 and Oracle is looking like same. See, whatever you are doing, DB2 and Oracle is same. SQL Server and Teradata will be same. So in SQL Server, there is no concept of rollback. Okay, there is no concept of rollback. In Teradata also, there is no concept of rollback. So whenever you have executed, it will be executed on the server side.
Okay.
If you want to roll back, either you have to go for delete the record or you have to go for alter the table.
Okay. In Oracle, if you drop the table, we cannot able to roll back, right?
No, we cannot do it. Yeah, we cannot do it. So once you have executed the DDL statement, you cannot roll back.
Okay.
DDL statements are auto commit in Oracle database.
Yeah,
DDL means you are creating, altering, renaming. dropping, truncating. These 5 are DLL statement.
Yeah.
Okay, I have explained this clearly in the first session, day 2 session. So please go watch, and most probably you have to practice it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. See, I have installed the software in our machine. First, you have to install Oracle. So this is server. This is server. Okay, this is server.
Yes.
Don't open the server. So you cannot open it. So if you open, one window will be opened. There we are not doing anything. But
Okay.
this is called our Informatica SQL developer. Sorry, SQL developer. SQL developer is a front-end tool. So in real time, either in your project, they can use SQL developer, or they can use Toad for Oracle, or they can use some command prompt also. They will go for, see here, they can use it command prompt also. Look at here, I'm just connecting SQL developer. It's SQL developer is a front-end tool. It will not store any data. Okay, remember, most of them will assume that, okay, this is a database. This is not a database. It is like a front-end tool. It's a GUI tool. From this tool, the underlying database we can connect, and then we can see the data. Okay. So if you go here, so HR schema, I'm just connecting it. HR, I can connect. It will be connected. You can see here, showing like here, HR schema. It will be connecting. It will show what tables. Say, for example, I want to see the select star from employees table. Something different tables I want to select. You can take the employees table here. Okay, you are seeing some 107 records here, right? Count rows 107. Same thing you can able to see in the SQL Plus also. You can go to SQL Plus. In real time, we will use SQL Plus also. So here also, if you look at here, SQL Plus release 11.2.0, say Oracle version. So this is what it will be going with. Then enter username. I can go for HR. Password is HR. Like this, you can able to do Oracle database 11G Express Edition connected, right? Connected to. Then you can see here, select star from. Again, you can go for, see, I'm making like select count of star from employees. So here I'm just checking it. So what is the count we are getting? So count is 107, right? Same thing. You can do it in our. So here we cannot copy. Normally, if you right click on that, it will copy. But here it will not be copied. So you can see here, select count of star also. It will give you the same result, right? See, in our real-time project, we do not have even access to SQL developer. Mostly we'll use SQL Plus only. Okay, so here also you can put some select star from the table name, but the view will not be looking good. Okay, here you'll go all the values. See, all the values looking like this. You have to do some command. You have to execute it for entire window to show, and everything you can see here. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, the SQL Plus also, it's like a tool wherein you can see all the data from our database table. The underlying database is running. So the database, you can get the data. So this is what you can use, either SQL developer or Toad for Oracle, or you can go for our SQL, some different tools also. Something like a front-end tools also will be there. Some cloud tools also will be there. The web page you can connect it. That's also fine. Okay. In the architecture, do you have any doubt? The architecture wise, have you all installed? Yeah, if you install Oracle, automatically SQL Plus will be installed. First itself, whenever we are installing the Oracle, right? So that time itself, SQL Plus will be installed automatically. So once you have installed Oracle, you can check it. So this SQL Plus will be there. Okay, you can just go to command prompt, the run, you can use SQL Plus without space, then it will be opened. So sometimes the Oracle password will get expired. Okay, the Oracle database password will get expired. Here you have to reset it. Go to SQL Plus, you have to enter the password as system system, then password is admin. That's what you have to enter it. Okay. While entering the password, it will not be printed here. Okay. Yes, Ramya. Yeah. You have any questions? Ramya, you have any questions?
Hello.
Yes, Ramya, you have any questions? Okay, are you clear on the architecture? Clear on the architecture? Any doubt here?
Yeah, yes, Chandra, it is clear.
Yeah, always remember, we will read the data from source. We will write the data into target. Okay, here we will be writing only select statement, but here we will be writing insert and update. So normally we will not write any delete statement. Okay, it's a very, very rare scenario we will write delete statement. Okay, that's what we will go for. So Informatica client, we are connecting it. Okay, so now we will go with Informatica client. If you look at here, we do have 4 client tools in our Informatica. So first of all, we should know what is Informatica client. So what is these 4 client tools will do, then only you can able to create a mapping. Okay, first of all, I will go to the first client tool called repository manager. If you have installed, okay. Yes, I got one question. Front-end tool SQL plus have same command as SQL developer. Yes, the SQL queries are same. SQL queries are common to Oracle database. Okay, even for different versions. So you are using the same query in different version also. 11G, 12C, 18C, 19C, 21C. See, all the versions are same, but 21C and all some keyword they would have added from 11G. Okay, 1 or 2 keywords they have added. Server side they went with more on cloud side. Okay, cloud side integration. That's what they have the version differences. But queries are same. That's why SQL queries are same. There is no differences. Okay, there is no differences on the SQL queries. Okay, you can go here. Here you can go to this Informatica Power Center Repository Manager. This is what you can see the repository. First of all, this is the top tool. Okay, Repository Manager. So we have 4 client tools. I will explain these tools one by one. First of all, we have to understand the tool first. Then only we will go with the next topic. Okay. What is the 4 client tools? We have Repository Manager, Designer, Workflow Manager, and Monitor. How to connect all schema post install of SQL Developer or 11G with system user? Yes, we have to connect with system user. Say for an example, you first of all, you'll be having like this only. There is no connection. You can see here, I can remove it. I can remove the connection. System connection, I'm not removing. So ABC, see here, I'm just deleting it. Just I'm deleting the connection. I'm not deleting the schema. Schema will be there in the database. Okay. From the front end tool, I'm just deleting it. Look at here. I have deleted all the connections. See in your system, this is what first page will be like this. First page will be like this. If you're opening this SQL developer, you are going for a new project, you'll be having like this. Okay. You'll be using this plus symbol. You are establishing the connection. Okay, establishing the connection. You assume that SQL developer is here. SQL developer or tool is here. Okay, in your machine. So from SQL developer, already we have installed Oracle server. It's there, the server. Your Informatica, sorry, your Oracle DBA will give you the server details, Oracle DBA details. See, so first you have to understand what is which scenario you have to go with Oracle DBA, which scenario you have to go with Informatica DBA, sorry, Informatica admin. See, whenever you are finding any issues on the database, okay, database, your repository, your database, your source and target connection issue, everything, you have to contact DBA team. Okay, you have to raise incident to DBA team. Whenever you are finding issues on Informatica side, So Informatica server failure, server connection, server issues, repository failure, integration service issue. So that time you have to connect with the Informatica admin team. So initial stage, so when I was the junior level, I used to get confused whether I have to go for Oracle DBA or Informatica admin team. Okay, if I'm raising the ticket to Informatica admin team, they will say like it should go to the Oracle DBA. So why? Because whenever you are finding issues on database side, you are not able to connect TNS entry, your service is down, something like that, you have to contact the Oracle team. Integration service, repository service, your Informatica site for the domain issue or any issues, that you have to contact your Informatica admin team. Okay, this is my SQL developer, right? This is my SQL developer. This is your front-end tool. Just you have to establish very first time, you'll be having like this. You're going to a project, SQL developer will be installed in your machine. It's not installable file. It's just a application file. You can get the file. From the file, you are establishing the connection to underlying database. First, you have to connect to the admin schema. From the admin schema, you can connect to any other schema. So here we will be connecting to admin schema, but in real time, we will not have access to admin schema. Remember this. Here we are the admin, but in real time, we are not admin. Okay, remember this. Here we are the admin, but in real time, we will not have access to admin schema. Whatever the schema you want to work on, you have to raise a request to DBA. DBA will grant you the permission, okay, to this. Sometimes they will give you the TNS entry. I will tell you what is TNS entry. See, this is what they will be giving us. Say, for an example, this is admin schema. You can connect with admin. Then go to user. Username is HR. Sorry, username is for admin. Username is system. System or sys. And password is, you can mention that admin. Okay. Just you can go for test. It will be there. Sometimes you should not make the host name, port number, SID here. You have to make the TNS entry. What is the TNS entry? Connection type here basic. Instead of that, you will be having LDAP connection. LDAP connection means it's like a security authentication. So something like firewall will be there. So there from there it will be authenticated, your username and password. Based on your access, it will be connected. LDAP connections and TNS entry. What is the TNS entry? You can go to the if I'm making TNS entry, in TNS file we'll be having some name. Okay, for an example, XC. Here we are having the XC, right? If you go test it, it will not test it. It will not test it. In TNS file, the connection will not be there like username, system, and password is admin. It will not create a connection. Where the TNS file will be? So they will give you in DBA, they will give you the TNS entry for the creating the connection. So go here, product 11 server. You'll be having one option called network. So admin, you'll be having a TNS names.ora. So this is the option they will give you, TNS name. If you go here, we will be making all this connection like XC. Something will be there like XC, right? XC. XC is nothing but host name is localhost, your desktop name, port number is 1521, and service name is XC. This is what we have the TNS entry. If you are going for real-time project, right, they will, the DBA, database administrator, sometimes they will give you the TNS entry. From this DNS entry, you can able to connect this. So how to connect it? Say for an example, if you are making, what is the XC connection? Username is for XC, we have the HR and HR, right? So if you are using HR and HR, from the TNS file, it will make the connection. From the TNS connection, from the TNS file, it will make the connection, HR. But HR is not for admin. It is searching the file. It will go to this file. It will make connect, it will establish the connection. Okay. It is taking time, more time. So just I'm not going for this network layers. I'll go for basic connection. Here I will use system. The username is system. Password is admin. So first here we will be connecting to the system user. Got connected, success. You can see connect. So once it has been connected, from this you can connect with HR schema. So you have to unlock the HR schema and everything I have explained in the installation. So please go through that installation. You can able to install it. Okay, HR localhost 1521 XC. Now you can test it. It should be success. You can connect it. So what we have did it. So from SQL developer, first we have connected system schema. Then we have connected HR schema. Then we can connect to core schema. So everything you need to have a username and password. Okay, you can go to here. So click on core. So this is something name. The name is different, no issues. But the username password is very important. Okay. Core, test it, connect it. Okay, this is one. So you can see here I have the table called select star from employees. So here I have the table called employees. Okay, employees. Can I use the same query here in core schema? Is it possible? Why I am getting this error? So it is there in the database only, right? So employees table is there in database, but it's showing like table or view does not exist. Why?
See, these employee tables are in admin schema, not in this core schema.
Employees table is in HR schema.
Oh, sorry, HR schema.
HR schema. Okay.
Yeah.
See, if you have file in C drive, okay, file in C drive. So if you are go and search the file in D drive, will you able to get it? No, right? So here I have one file. So same file will it be, can it be accessed from here, C drive? Is it possible? No. Okay, it is not possible. But admin can able to access it, right? So that's what. So HR schema, whatever the table is available from core, you cannot able to see. Okay. Can I take it the same table from admin? Is it possible? Admin should have access, right? Why here also I'm not able to see? Any idea?
You need to grant access, right, to that.
No, admin will have access. Admin will have access, right? I'm running this particular query from this admin schema. Admin should have access. Why I'm not able to see?
HR
See here. Yes, correct. See, you are running the query from here, but the table is available in this particular schema.
So write the HR.
Okay.
First.
So if any table is available in admin schema, any
Always.
table named like employees, it will pick admin schema table. Can I create table like this here? Create table employees here. Yes, you can able to create employees. Open. Say for an example, employee ID, making like number of. Wait, just I'm creating only one column. I have created a table. I'm going to insert some values. Insert into employees values. Having the employee ID is some number. Okay. So I have inserted one value. I'm just making like, so once you have inserted, you have to make commit. If I'm going to use select star from employees, it will take this schema table only. Clear?
Yes, got
If
it.
I want to see the HR schema table, I have to make HR.employees schema name dot table name. Schema name dot table name. Schema name dot table name. If I'm making that schema name dot table name, even though I'm executing the query from admin, it will not take admin tables. Okay, it will not take admin tables. It will be taking from HR schema tables. Okay, from here, from system schema, I'm trying to access other schema tables. So admin will have access, but core will not have access. Core will not have access to get the other schema tables. If I want to get access, the admin should provide an access. Clear? Are you clear? Or is it confusing you? So you have to practice it, okay? So if I'm going to drop the table, table name, employees. See, both are like employees table only, but schema wise we have changed it. So this is called drop table name. Only this table will get dropped. Employees table will not get, HR schema table will not get dropped. So what is the difference between instance and schema? Schema is like a logical division of our database. Instance is nothing but, see, I'm one of the user, you are now one of the user. See, multiple users will be there. Multiple user is creating multiple queries, right? So they'll be executing it. All these are instance. So you have connected to login. So this is one instance. You have connected with your username and password with same HR schema. You are querying this table. It will show you the data, right? So that's instance. So you can have multiple instance, multiple parallel instance, multiple users will be running. So this is what we'll be having the architecture of your, what is the schema, what is the table and everything. This should be very clear. So how to access the other schema tables. Why we are mentioning the other schema tables. For an example, if I want to access core schema tables, so I can go with select. Okay, I can go with select or from core dot. So core dot table name. So T underscore employees. So you can get the T underscore employees table. So you'll be having this core dot T underscore employees. See, this is what you'll be seeing the tables. Clear on this? See, admin will have access to other schema tables. See, the schema and database. In Teradata, we will call it as database. In Oracle, we will call it as schema. In SQL Server, we will call it as database. DB1, database 2, payments database, core database, something like that we will call it as, okay? Clear on this? Are you clear on this structure and everything?
Yeah, clear.
What is schema, what is table? See, this should be very clear. Then only in real-time environment, whenever you are going for, they'll be mentioning all the queries with schema name, dot table name, even for database name also. You are going for two different database. Okay, from this database, you want to access this database, DB link will be provided. From the DB link, you have to mention the database name, schema name, dot table name. Okay. Give me 1 minute. So just to go through this architecture. If you have any questions, please ask me. Give me a minute. Sorry. Okay, so the setup you have to be very clear. So then only you can able to understand. So whatever I'm going to explain it. Okay, from the basic, I have to clear on this. Then only you can troubleshoot the error. Okay, so we have 4 client tools. Just I'm connecting to the repository. See, if I'm right clicking on this, I'm going for configure domain. Normally you will do it in our real time. Configure domain. Add repository, then you'll be making that configure domain. Okay. Before starting this repository, you have to start the Informatica server. See, always you have to start your Informatica server in our environment. Real time, no need to start it. So why? Because real time Informatica server is 24/7 up and running. Okay. You can go to this repository, sorry, command prompt, the run. You can make it like services.msc. Or here itself you can type services. Okay, services. The services you can go to this. If you go here, you can see all the services up and running. So Oracle service should be up and running here. Oracle service is up and running. Listener. I think you have asked something about listener, right? See, this is the listener. Listener will be on the server side, it will be running. So listener also should be running, then only it can able to connect with other services, okay? Other services. And we will be having the Informatica server. See, Informatica 10.2.0. Informatica service should be up and running. If it is not running, you have to start the service, wait for 5 to 10 minutes based on your system speed. Okay, 5 to 10 minutes. Then only you can able to connect it. See here, I have, before starting it, I am trying to connect it. You'll be getting this error. In real-time project, if you are getting this error, to whom you have to contact? To whom you have to contact? Whether you have to contact DBA or Informatica admin team.
In this case, we have to contact Informatica admin team, right?
Yes, Informatica admin team. Okay. You should not go to the database admin. You have to contact repository admin first. They are telling that, okay, repository itself down. So Oracle itself down. They will say like Informatica admin team, they in turn connect to the DBA.
Okay.
They will say like, okay, DBA instance is down. They are restarting it. Wait for some more minute. But development environment, it may go down. Some maintenance and all, it will go down. But production, it will not go down. Okay, 24/7, it's up and running. If you do not have Informatica, so I will give you the software. You can go to Informatica 10.4 installation. You can install it. If you need any help on the installation, please let me know. We will complete all the installation by tomorrow. Okay, I will tell you how to install it. You can go to this, the video. You can make this Informatica. See, that's my video. So Informatica 10.4.0 installation on Windows. See, 10.4.0, you'll be having it. See, this is the one. Okay, I have uploaded recently. So you can go to this video. The software also I have given here. If you are not able to download, please let me know. Okay, I will give it to you. So if you go here in the more button, you can see here softwares I have given. Okay, you can download it from here. Okay, license key and the 64-bit version 11G SQL Developer. First you have to download this 11G Oracle 11G SQL Developer and the Informatica client and server. Okay, you have to download it from here. See, all this I have given. So this is available in Oracle eDelivery site also. Okay, you can download it from there. But I have downloaded and I have given here. You can download it from here. So you can do it. So after that, you can see all this I have given here. The queries which we have to execute everything I have given. So you can follow the steps, you can able to install it. Okay, just to follow it. If you are finding any issues, please let me know. We will complete it by today. Sorry, by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. By this weekend, we have to complete it. Okay. So what are the 4 client tools? We have 4 client tools is called Repository Manager. Today we will see it theoretically. Next session, we will have it practically. So you have to, while installation itself, I have explained what is the connection, how to do the test mapping. You try to do one test mapping. If not, I will do it in our next session. What are the 4 client tools? Repository Manager, Designer, Workflow Manager, and Monitor. See, very first time it will be very difficult to remember all this. After 1 or 2 days, it will get memorized. Okay. Repository Manager, it's a top level. First level is Repository Manager, Designer, Workflow Manager, and Workflow Monitor. These are all the 4 client tools are available. So what is Repository Manager? See, the Repository Manager is a top level one. Whatever you want to do admin related task, you can go to the Repository Manager. So look at here, Repository Manager or admin related task. What is admin related task? If you are the admin, if you are the Informatica admin, you will be doing most of the work in the Repository Manager only. So most of the work in the Repository Manager only. So like a folder creation or a deletion. So normally in our real-time environment, you will not have access to folder creation and deletion. So Informatica admin team will create for you. So you can request them on your name, then they will create it in development environment. But in production or QA, they will have the business name. Okay. Metadata, all your metadata we can take, access and privileges. Code migration, you can take XML export. So always Informatica, you have to take XML file only. So deploy for the deployment and all. So you'll be taking the XML file and you'll be taking historical run status. Okay, historical run status. So all this you can see here. I will show you these things. These 4-5 things you can do it in the repository manager. Then we have the designer. So what is designer? The second tool is called designer. This designer tool will do, we can do 3 things in designer. So remember this 3 things: source definition, target definition, and mapping. So this is my source. Left hand side is source. Target is right hand side. You have the target definition. So you have to tell, say for an example, you want to take the data from Oracle table to SQL Server table. So what is your source? Oracle table. What is your target? SQL Server table. And what is the business logic? So that you have to tell here. If there is no business logic, you have to do one-to-one mapping. Okay. You are doing this designer tool, designer, source definition, target definition, and mapping. So after that, you can do the workflow. So for each and every session with the mapping, right, you need to have the workflow. What is that workflow? I will show you. But I hope you are clear on this particular thing. So what is this, everything. And we'll go with, I'll show you here. I will save this. I will share it to you so that you'll be getting it. And so what is this mapping? See, mapping is nothing but if you take, this is the mapping. This is one of the mapping. Inside the mapping, you'll be having a source. So this is what source. This is source qualifier. You'll be having a source qualifier. Then you'll be having a target. You'll be having some business logic. In between, you'll be having a lot of business logic. So here you'll be having some business logic. So this is one transformation. This is another transformation. These are like transformations. See, the data will be moving from source to target. The data will be moving from source to target. This is what our source. This is what our target. Okay. Target. And this is what your transformation. This is what our source qualifier. I will tell you what is this all under. So source to target, the data will be moving always left hand side your source, target is right hand side. Okay, right hand side is your target. Clear? So this is what a mapping. So this is called a pipeline. You are doing the pipeline, right? Data pipeline. Data pipeline is nothing but how the water pipeline, water is flowing the same way. We have the data pipeline is called mapping. Mapping will consist of source, target, and transformation logic. Okay, this is called mapping. For this mapping, you need to have a session. For this mapping, you need to have a session. So in this session, this is called a session. In this session, you'll be having some access. Sorry, you will be having some connections. The session, you'll be having some connections. So this is called a session. For this session, you'll be making, okay, this is what my source. This is what my target. Okay, some connection you have to use. HR schema. You go and connect with HR schema. You go and connect with core schema. What is the username, password? So everything you have to provide in the session. So session, after that, after creating the session, you'll be having a workflow. See, workflow is the top level. Workflow is the top level. Workflow will have a start button here. Start button. So by using this workflow, you can start this session. Once you have started the session, it will read the data from source. It will write the data into a target. That's what integration service will come into picture. See, what is that first level? First level is, top level is workflow. So workflow, then session, then mapping, then transformations. Transformation, then inside we'll be having source and target. Source and target. So this is what we'll be having it. Clear on this? What is this all about? what is transformation, what is source and target and everything. The top level is called workflow. Workflow can have multiple sessions. Each and every session will have associated mapping. Mapping will have associated transformation. Clear? This is what the one. So where you can create, after creating the source definition, target definition, mapping, you have to go to the workflow manager. In the workflow manager, that's what your third tool. In the workflow manager, you can create a workflow. You can create a session, provide the connection. You can create a session, you can provide a connection, you can create a workflow. These are all the things you will follow in workflow manager. Okay, so now we have, after creating the workflow, we are going to just run it. If you are running it, it will be, monitor will be opened. You can see here in the monitor, you can see the run status, like running, succeeded, failed, aborted, or stop. You can see the row count, source and target row count, throughput, record per second, session log, everything you can able to see here. Say for an example, this is repository manager. Now I'm just connecting. If you are getting this particular option, then it has been, server is up and running. Just I'm clicking on username and password, just click on connect. It will be connected. Okay, it will be connected. If it is still, if it is error, you have to wait for some more time. So connected, right? Say for an example, this is folder, different folders are available. See, in real time, you will be having lot of folders. Real-time project, you will be having lot of folders. Just I'm opening one folder. Just you can see this in here. I told, right, you can export the XML file, all this. So you'll be having a workflow. These many workflows are there. So if you want to create a folder, you can create a folder for us. That's all we will do in our repository manager. But click on designer. Click on designer. The designer is important. So what you can do by using designer? As I told, designer, you can do source definition, target definition, mapping. See, it will take 1 day to get memorized. When you are practicing it only, then it will be get memorized. Okay, it's very easy only. Look at here. Left hand side you have the source, right? Left hand side you have the source. Then you have the source qualifier. I told that source qualifier. Then target you have the right hand side. In between you have some mapping. Sorry, transformations. So left hand side you have the source. This is called pipeline. This is called pipeline. The data is moving from source to target. Okay, source to target. Data is moving from source to target. This is what we will be having, the mapping. Mapping, source, target, and mapping. So we'll be having, in designer, we'll be having 5 client tools. What is the 5 client tools? Like I explained here, 5 client tools in designer. See, like source analyzer. We are the source analyzer. See, one more time we will do it practically tomorrow, the next session. Don't worry. Just you get to know what is this terminologies. Like source analyzer. Very first time it will be a little bit difficult to understand. No issues. We are going to keep on. We are going to see this. Definitely you will get to know. So you'll be having the source analyzer. If you click on the source analyzer, source will be enabled in the top. Click on the target. Target will be enabled. Then transformation developer, maplet designer, mapping designer. Okay. So as a developer, we'll be using these 3 things very frequently. That is our source definition, target definition, or mapping. What is these 2? Transformation developer and maplet. Transformation developer is for reusable component. These 2 are reusable component. I will explain later. Okay. See, source qualifier. What is this source qualifier? I will explain that source qualifier later. Source qualifier will transform the source data type into Informatica native data type. So it will convert source data type. Source might be Oracle, DB2, SQL Server, Salesforce, SAP, or anything, right? So source qualifier, it converts source, anything, source data type into Informatica native data type. So inside Informatica, so all the data types are same. You can see here all the data types are same. This data type should be same, but this data type and this might be a different one. Source and target might be a different one. Okay. So source qualifier, I will explain very clearly. We have separate session for source qualifier. We'll see. But source qualifier converts the source data type into Informatica native data type. So don't worry on the transformation now. just you go through this. What is the tools are available? What is first tool? Source analyzer. Go to source here. Import from, you can do 4 options. Import from database, import from file, COBOL file, XML file. So you can have all these 4 options. See, in our next session, we will see the same thing. You can, that time you can get to know all this very clearly. Just I'm going through, okay? Go to target. You can see the target. Target also might be a table, flat file, all this. Then go and create a mapping. This is what mapping. So you have 5 client tool in designer. One is source analyzer. You can do the source definition. Target designer. You can do the target definition. Transformation developer, single transformation, you can reuse it. Maplet designer, you can multiple transformation, you can use it for reusable component. You can go for mapping. You can go for this mapping designer. You can go for mapping. Okay, this is what the 5 client tools are available. Okay, you can go to workflow manager. You can open it. By using this workflow, you can create a workflow. See, look at here. Whatever you are seeing with start button, that is called workflow. So you can create a workflow session and provide a connection, and then you can run it. See, you have the workflow. This is called workflow. You have 3 components: task developer, worklet designer, and workflow designer. These 3 things are, these 2 are reusable component. Reusable component. Task developer, single session can be reused. Worklet designer, multiple sessions are reused. And workflow designer, you can create a workflow. This is called workflow. So this is called a session. Each and every mapping should have a session. So I'm going to run it. Yes, you can right click, you can go and run, then monitor will be opened. In the monitor, you can able to see whether it is running, succeeded or failed. Okay, you can able to see whether it is running, succeeded or failed. It will show you. So you can see here. It will be opened here. Just to give me a minute. It is running now. Okay, the session workflow is top level. Workflow contains session. If you go and get the run properties, in the below you can see what is the running status, whether it is running or succeeded or failed, how many records read from the source. Okay. See here, it has some partitions. So how it is reading that data from source and target. See, record is reading from source and target based on the rank transformation is filtering out. Some record is getting filtered out based on the rank. So it got succeeded, right? You can analyze the session log. You can right click, get session log. You can see the session log. I told it will have threads, right? Thread. So what is the thread? Mapping thread is transformation thread. Reader thread, you'll be having a reader thread. Source side, you'll be having a reader thread. Look at here, reader thread. Transformation thread. Writer thread. Target side, you will be having writer thread. How many threads? 3 thread. If you are facing any issues on the writer thread, where will be the issue? You have to check why the target is failing. Reader thread, why the source is failing. Transformation thread, why Informatica is failing. That's what. See, source always read the data. It will, Informatica will write the SQL statement, it will read the data. If you have time, then just to go through this log. So in our next session, I will explain it all this. Okay. I will explain all the session log and everything. So this is what the client tools, all the client tools. In order to create a workflow, you have to follow these 7 steps. These 7 steps I will explain next session. I will create a workflow. I will create a sample table. I will load from source to target one mapping. Okay. Before that, from next session onwards, it will be a practical session. I will be doing all this in the tool only. Before that, before coming for the next session, please make sure that you are having the system and configuration. Okay, everything clear. I will send you this installation link. So please, by watching it, you can able to install it. If you are finding any issues on the installation or if you need any help, please let me know. I will take your remote session remotely and then I will do it. Okay.
Okay. Chandra, one small doubt.
Hmm.
What is the difference between ODS and OLTP? Like,
ODS, so OLTP is your server, your transactional server. Okay.
okay,
So normally we should not hit this OLTP every time.
okay.
With this OLTP, we should not go and hit all the time, right? See, for
Yes,
that,
yes.
what they will do, some replication server will be there, they'll be having it. See, whatever the data is inserted, updated, some 10 days of data will be loaded into ODS layer, operational data source.
Okay.
Okay. Or you will be doing some data cleansing operation from here to here. You will be
Okay.
loading into a ODS layer, operational data source. So from here only you'll be taking the data for our staging layer.
Okay.
For our stage layer, we have to take the data from ODS layer. See, the ODS layer will have data from even heterogeneous sources also. You can take the data from heterogeneous, you can apply some data cleansing operation. You can remove the duplicate, we can remove the null values. Okay, so all this data quality, you can do it. Some IDQ tool also, they will use it in real time. They will load it into a ODS layer. From the ODS layer, it will be move on to our Informatica staging. From that, it will be moved.
And one more thing, like on the day you said that OLTP is not, it will not store the historical data. So sometimes
Yes.
what will happen, like in the business, I mean, in OLTP having to more than, it is a data virus, it have more than 50 years of data. So after that, I mean, after the 50 years, I mean, we are getting any count mismatch in the target. So at that time, what will happen if you want to take the whole data?
Some backup they will be using it. Backup tables.
Okay.
See, all this OLTP will have a backup table.
Okay.
Okay, all the tables will be doing it somewhere. Backup tables from there they have to take it.
Okay.
See, after 50 years, they will not find any mismatches and all. It's like aggregation. Okay. Say for an example, instead of say for an example, it's a 5.3 million. You are showing that value. Okay. If some data is missing, like 1 day data, still it is 5.3 only. If it is 1 month data is missing, you'll be seeing 5.29 million, something like that. Small changes only will be there. Why? Because it's a 5 years data, right? Or 50 years data, or 1 year data. Like small changes will be there. Why? Because it's aggregation. Small changes will be there. That's all. So normally they will go for round off. See, even they are making like 5.28. We'll say like 5.3 in the reports.
Okay.
See, if you are instead of 5.38, tomorrow it's like a 5.29. Okay, still we are saying like it's a 5.3 only. So there is no issues on the aggregation of the data.
Okay.
Still we have some backup tables, backup enterprise data values. So everything will be there, backup tables.
Okay.
That's what
So
we are
from
creating on the
backup
backup.
table, they will do full load, right?
Yeah, yes, full load.
Okay.
Replication they will do it.
Okay.
So they will go for purging the tables. See why? Because they will take the backup of this table. After some time we can purge it. See, even data values also. Say yesterday also we got a mail from our Teradata admin team saying that the tables are more than 10 TB. One single table is 10 TB of data.
Okay.
One single table. Look at here. Our system's memory itself 1 TB.
Yeah.
Or 500 GB. One single table in real time we have 10 TB. They are asking to purge. At least to go for some 10 years of data or some purge the data.
They're
So
going to
normally,
segregate that table.
yeah, we will do something like we will go for backup table. That table we will not use it. So normally we'll have some backup repository. Okay. From here to here, we will purge the table and then we will make it like a backup. Okay. So that we will do it. Purging operations. We will create on Informatica, we will do one-to-one load from here to here. After loading everything, we will validate the data, minus queries. If everything looking good, then we will delete the data, some data here.
Okay.
Okay, this is what we will do.
So we need to use some store procedure like for merge.
Merge, if it is same database, we will use stored procedure. Or if
Okay.
you are very well you are using Informatica, you can do it Informatica update strategy.
Okay.
Okay, it's one-to-one load, just you can take a source to target, that's all. Replication and all, it's one-to-one load only. We are not going to do any insert update logic.
Okay.
Okay. So these are all the things. Any other questions? Any other doubt? We will stop it here. Then rest we will take it Monday.
Sure, Chandra. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, Monday morning we will take it. For Ramya and Manju, it will be your Sunday evening. Okay.
Okay, Chandra.
Yeah. So thank you all. Before coming for next session, please try to install the software. If you are finding any issues or anything, please ping me in the group. Okay, or in the private chat. Okay, I will help you.
Sir, tomorrow is a session.
No, on Monday.
On Monday.
Yeah. Weekdays.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this 2 days to complete your installation, make some one-to-one mapping. In the installation itself, I have given test mapping. You can do it.
Yes, Chandra, already done with.
Yeah. Okay.
Once again, I will.
Yeah. One just you can go through that videos and all. We will take it next session on Monday. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I will send this recording.
Okay, sir.